This is Audiobeak, and we're looking at Atom Piano Rolls edit tools. The first tool we're going to look at here on the left hand side is the pen tool. This works in a traditional sense, as in it works the same as most other sequencers. So you can tap to enter a note at the current grid value, or you can tap and drag and enter a note at any length. Also worth noting here that you can actually extend and shrink the note at the start and the end. That's quite a unique feature. And also you can grab the center of the note and move it anywhere you like. Also note that in the original position of the note before you move it, there's a ghosted overlay, so you can actually see exactly where the note was before you moved it. The next tool we're going to look at is the paintbrush tool. So you can tap again and that will create a note exactly the same as the pen at the grid size, or you can tap, hold and drag and that will paint, much like any paintbrush in any sequence you've ever used. Now, worth noting here is that if you select a note while in the paintbrush, you won't be able to extend either way, but it will move the note around. And you'll also see the ghosted overlay as was there with the pen tool. Now, on top of this, it's worth noting with these tools that when you do select a note and drag it, there is an axis biasing. The axis biasing will work on your very first slight movement. So if your very first slight movement is in one particular axis, it will stick to that axis. Sounds a bit trickier than it actually is. Once you get used to it, it's a very powerful tool. The next tool we're going to look at is the select tool. So you can tap on notes like so, and it's an additive tool, so you can just keep selecting notes. You have drag for selecting multiple notes with a marquee, or you can actually double tap and it will select everything, or you can long press on an actual lane and it will select the whole lane like so. So again, just to show that, I'll long select that lane with those notes in and you can see all the notes selected in that lane. The scissor tool is a tool that will slice at the current grid value. So we're on a 16th at the minute, so if I want to slice on this long note here, it will slice at 16s anywhere I tap. Now, a nice thing about this tool is it also has long press. So if I long press, you will actually get a guide there, so you can actually see where you're slicing, which is nice. And if you long press anywhere, you can drag it into a note. So that's the edit tools. And one other thing we want to cover here, personally, I want to cover is the octave up and down buttons. Before we do that, I want to actually shrink the display a little bit so we can actually see it moving up and down the octaves. Now, our gestures for this are very familiar. You can use your 2-finger pinch to shrink, or your 2-finger pinch to zoom out as well. So we've got that, and also use 2 fingers to actually move anywhere you like. So as long as you're using 2 fingers, you've got your full pinch and pan zoom controls directly in the grid. Now I'm going to move over here to the right hand side of the interface and just show you quickly the octave buttons. So we can actually see there the octave up and down. Those work perfectly. These are your edit tools, and we'll see you on the next video.